for today. And for today's practice, we're going to talk about alignment. So just think about times where you're driving in your car and you let go of the steering wheel. And sometimes the car is aligned and you don't have to touch the wheel and you're going to stay in your lane. And there's other times where there may be a misalignment and you let go of the wheel and it starts to veer left or right. And then you have to take control of the wheel to maintain your direction. So think about in our yoga practice, when you are practicing the asanas, are you in proper alignment? And whether or not you're noticing misalignments in your body. So we do this practice as a way to notice, where are we at physically? What are we holding physically? Where are we tied up physically? And then we start to improve that from our state of awareness. There may be one side of the body that has a little bit more bulk, excuse me, in the muscular way. Say, for instance, if you're always carrying the bag of groceries on one arm, so there may be certain body mechanics that you do that create the misalignments because you're bulkier in one side of the body versus the other. And then there may be some skeletal misalignments that can also occur. So with the practice that we're going to be doing today, there is one of the poses that I will not be doing, and it's downward scorpion on the left side. And I'm going to tell you why. So back in 2020, when the world came crashing down and everything changed and our foundations were shook, my pelvis had literally twisted in my body somehow. And it was causing me a lot of aggravation with my SI joint. So I started seeing a chiropractor to get me realigned. And it was through that realignment, doing the adjustments, doing the yoga therapy, and holding poses longer that I needed to on one side of the body to recorrect what had occurred, that allowed me to finally feel contented in my body again. But every once in a while, I'll do a practice where my SI joint is irritated. Well, I have started to make the mental notes. What is it that I'm doing in that class that's different from the class I did the day before that changed the feel? And I've discovered, for me personally, it's the asymmetry of the downward scorpion on the left side. Now, if you think about your SI joints or joints in general, they're more secure when there's muscular engagement. So when we're doing that downward scorpion and the leg floats up and then we bend the knee and then we take that twist and we're looking up underneath the arm, there is asymmetry happening not only through the pelvis, but either I'm not securing the abs enough or I'm rotating too much. Regardless of what that is, that creates the pain. So I'm going to avoid the pain today. So what I want us to start off with is a yin form of the restorative corpse pose, and you're laid out like an X. So let's go ahead and line up. So in this position, your legs are sprawled out a little wider than hip distance. And your arms are overhead wider than shoulder distance apart. And as soon as you lie down, close your eyes. Take a few deep yogic breaths to ground down into your body. And maybe at first, breathing all the way up into the heart. And instead of breathing down into the belly, I want you to breathe all the way down to the soles of your feet. Now I want you to pay attention to your hands. How are your hands touching down? Are they touching down at the same spots? Is one hand lighter or hovering compared to the other? When your fingertips curl in, are you noticing some curl in more than others? Don't try to match it up. Don't try to change anything. Just be with what is. And then scan through the arms. Notice, is the same amount of weight prevalent in the forearms? Do your elbows touch down or not? Check in with the upper arms, the tops of the shoulders. Are they level? Are they even? Do they feel similar or different? And continue to check with your alignment, because unless you're in an old home that has a dip in the flooring, the floor doesn't lie. What's the pressure in your shoulder blades and the back of your rib cage? If you feel more sedated on one side, make that mental note. And do the same thing as you come down into your sacrum. For instance, I know I'm a little wonky today because my left side of my sacrum and hip is laid down more and is heavier than my right, showing me there's a little misalignment. Go ahead and do the same observance down through the backside of your legs. You might even feel weighted in one heel more than the other. One foot may turn out more so than the other. Just notice. And the reason why I'm bringing up alignment today is tomorrow is going to be a big alignment astrologically. There's going to be 6 planets lined up. And in August and in January, there will be 7 planets lined up. Now take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, you're going to pull the knees in, the feet in, and grab your shins or toes. And take happy baby pose. Now you can be yin or yang in your approach. You can just allow the buttocks to slightly curl up. You can just hold your body without pulling with your arms. This is the yin way. Or you can really drop heavily through that base bone at your low back. And you can use your arm strength to pull on the feet. Now, these type of alignments in the celestial skies usually bring about changes here on Earth. So there's a prediction of political changes, economic changes, personal changes, and even environmental changes. In fact, you may have seen on the news, there is a volcano in Iceland erupting for the 5th time this year, and that volcano has been dormant for 800 years. So there may be more and more environmental activity, more and more changes with the weather, and there will be a ripple effect in other things. When we have alignment in the body, then we have a ripple effect of feeling good, being our best, being sane. And when we have misalignments, it can lead to physical pain, mental irritation, emotional distress. All right, now that we've been holding this pose for a little bit, we're going to rock up into a seat with the feet apart for cat cows. So duck the head, move through the knees, and really open your throat. Squeeze your shoulders back. And then as you exhale, pull that belly in, straighten your arms, then bow your head. And then continue to move back and forth. This is going to be a blended class today, mixing in some flows with steeping in stillness. Let's do one more of these. And at the end of that cat stretch, you're going to inhale, come back to reside on your sits bones, walk your feet in a little bit closer, push into your hands to lift your buttocks off the floor. Your feet are going to be pointed towards the top of the mat, and your elbows are resting on your knees for bear pose. Now in bear pose, this is about strengthening the ankles, the quads, the core, but you have to engage the core. So make sure you're slurping up in your lower and upper abdomen, not to the point of complete contraction to round the back, but where you feel the muscles in the back engage and you start to feel that warm engagement in your belly. So I'm actually a little disappointed this volcano is erupting again in Iceland because I'm flying there tomorrow. And my first night was supposed to be an extra treat, staying at the Blue Lagoon, this famous place outside of Reykjavik. And they got evacuated yesterday. So I'm waiting to hear whether or not my hotel still stands when I arrive. So we're going to turn the feet out and we're going to be the volcano. So we're going to keep the knees bent like Holy Goddess. The hands are going to come up past the brow line and then straighten your legs, straighten your arms. And then as you exhale, spew the lava or spray the hands nice and wide. Bend the knees again. Hands together to prayer. They're moving upward beyond the brow. Start to straighten your legs, straighten your arms. Exhale. Spray it out, rebend the knees, hands together, coming up the third round. Wait till your hands are past your third eye so you get that little burn in your legs. And then this time, keep your legs straight, let your arms fan out. We'll bring the feet more together at the top of the mat, hands to prayer, and inhale, let your arms circle overhead. Exhale, lower down. Uttanasana. From Uttanasana, this is where we want the active alignment and structure. So your feet are rooted down, your legs are lined up. Slide your hands to your shins, lengthen out through the spine, look out with your eyes. And as you exhale, forward back down. Inhale, step back into your plank position. Now, from your plank position, I'm going to show you, this is the mistake that I'm seeing a lot more in studios right now. So see how my butt is kind of up in the air? I'm really not stacking my arm bones, and this is rather easy, right? We need to make it more of a challenge. So push back through your heels, stretch out through your sternum, let your hips lower. Now you're going to feel the brunt of the weight. Now you're going to build the strength. Exhale, let's lower the knees to the floor. All right, you're gonna shift your torso forward. Exhale, come down, half chaturanga. Inhale, press up. Exhale, shift forward and lower. Keep your hips and shoulders in one straight plane. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, last one. When you come down this time, lower to your belly, slide your elbows in front of you, but lift your chest off the floor, but bow your head to prayer hands, and then separate your feet. Close your eyes and notice if that flow made the breath or the heart rate more rapid. Consciously slow down the breath, which will have an effect on the heart. If you sense the power of the breath, I want this to be a nice reminder that when you feel nervous, when you experience anxiety, when you have that feeling of worry coming about that speeds up the heart, you can come back to your breath to realign the mind, body, and spirit. Exhale, slip your hands under the shoulders. Pull the feet more parallel. Let your shoulders roll back and uplift to Bhujangasana, your cobra. And then as you exhale, back your hips up over your knees and your hands underneath your shoulders. So this alignment is our tabletop. Lengthen your right arm forward with your palm open. Slide the hand back as you sit towards your heels. And then inhale, circle that right arm up and over. And then exhale, flip the hand, slide it back. And then you're maintaining this flow. It's a forward stroke with the arm. Your head turns as if you were swimming and lifting the face out of the water to get some air. And then after this next one, we'll take it to the left. Notice whether or not you have the same or a different range of motion on this side of the body with your arm, shoulder, and neck that you did before. When your hand comes down, walk in a handprint beyond where they were, curl the toes under, and lift up and back to downward facing dog. Now that you're here in downward facing dog, solidify your hands, soar up through your seat. Create some structure in your belly, securing the joints. And then we're gonna fly the right leg halfway up. And as you exhale, swing that foot forward and through between the hands and look out with your eyes. Inhale, take the right leg up and back again. Exhale, swing it to the outside of your right hand for a quick lizard. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, swing the foot through between the hands, but this time tap down the back knee and push into your back toes. Untuck the back foot, pressurize the front foot, build up from here, Anjaneyasana. And then as you exhale, melt the hips, open your arms, and gaze up. And then let your arms continue to lower. Bring the head forward, hands down, back toes curled. Ekapada, Adho Mukha Svanasana, right leg flares up again. This time the foot to the outside of the hand like we did before, except this time we're gonna sink the back knee and hold this low flying dragon. So remember, you can bring props in between your arms and the flooring. If you don't naturally descend the elbows, respect and honor your body's limitations. Now you may notice after that flow, the heart rate may be sped up again. We're going to be here a bit. So relax and breathe. Patience. Inhale, coming back on to the stilts of the arms. You're going to curl the back toes under. You're stepping back to downward facing dog. Structure and align yourself here in this pose. And then we'll take that sequence to the left. So let's lift the left leg, flexing the ankle, swing the foot through the hands and look out. Inhale, left leg sweeps up and back. Exhale, stack that foot to the outside for a quick lizard. Same sequencing, inhale, left leg shoots up and back. Exhale, this time between the hands, and you can drop the back knee. Keep the back toes curled a moment. Now untuck the back foot, pressurize the front foot, and rise up. Half lunge. Exhale, melt the hips, open the heart. And then notice the difference when you let the arms release. Now bring your head forward, hands down, back toes curl, one-legged down dog, left foot to the outside of the left hand, and prepare to drop from lizard into a low flying dragon. And you may feel the difference right away. You may notice some differences as you hold and linger here. You may notice you're perfectly aligned between the two sides. patience. Inhale, stacking back up. Exhale, curl the back toes. Return the left leg skyward. And then lower the foot down. All right, from here, we're going to bring the feet to the top of the mat. So you can baby step, you can lunge or float the feet together, lifting halfway. And then rolling down, keeping the active structure through the legs. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, we're going right back in. Uttanasana. In to Ardha Uttanasana. Out to regular Uttanasana. Inhale, take your plank. And then streamline your body. Exhale, bring the knees down. Shift forward, lower down, half chaturanga. Inhale, press up. Exhale, half chaturanga. Inhale, press up. 3 more. Sometimes we keep the hips higher for Ashtanga Pranan. This time we're bringing the hips down with the shoulders. Last one. And then come on down, separate your feet. Lift your chest, hands together. And lower to your prayer hands. In a higher form of this pose, we're usually compressing the low back. Here, not so much. I do want your chest lifted away from the floor so you're still receiving a heart opening pose. Remember, the element for this center is air, so breathe well. Exhale, lower towards your chest, hands under the shoulders, feet more together. You're rolling up to an active cobra, firing up your back muscles, upper arm muscles, and then back your hips up. Walk your hands back. Gauge your lower belly, tabletop. And then flip your right hand, slide it back. Inhale, shift forward. Same flow we did earlier. And then swap to the left. Returning to your downward facing dog. This time we're gonna start with the left leg. The left leg's gonna rise up on the inhale and swing it in between the hands and look out on the exhale. Inhale, flatten your thumbs as that left leg sails up. Exhale, set it to the outside of the hand for a quick lizard. Inhale, take the left leg up and back. Now this is where, if you want to go into downward scorpion, feel free. You would point the left foot, you would bend that knee and twist and gaze up underneath the left arm. Otherwise, maintain the structure here, hips square, left ankle flexed. And then we'll all unwind from the twist or bring that leg forward for our swan or pigeon. Now, before you come forward, if you're out of alignment like this, I want you to put yourself in alignment where your hips are level and even across the board, and you're on the top of that right leg before submitting into position. Had this memory pop up this morning of when I was in the 7th grade, being in math class with a teacher that was really tough. And I was second row, and she was really strict. And one day, the girl in front of me turned around, and she had a handful of M&Ms, and she poured a few in my hand. Of course, we weren't supposed to be eating in the classroom, so we're sneaking those M&Ms. And being so far in the front of the room and in the center of the room in front of the teacher's desk, we had to be really sly about it. And it got to be hilarious because the chocolate was melting in the palm of our hand. So it was making a mess. But when you're in a pose being submissive this way, the yin is really about becoming like that piece of chocolate melting in the heat of your palm, or like a Hershey kiss melting in your mouth. Noticing anything that you've been storing in this hip dissolving. Trust that it is. And you'll probably be surprised a little by the drainage you experience when we return to downward facing dog. Now let's begin to rise. Flatten the hands, to curl the back toes, to move back to down dog. Realign. Feel the effect. And now let's swap over to the right. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, swing it in between the hands and look out. Inhale, fly it up and back. Exhale, step the foot to the outside for a quick lizard. Inhale, sending it up and back. Now, I will be able to do downward scorpion to this side. And if you want to join me, point the right toes, scissor the leg higher, bend the top knee, swizzle and twist up underneath that right arm. And then when you're ready, unroll from the twist. Take the shin to the top of the mat, slide your left leg back. Check to see if you have any wonky alignment. Recorrect your form. And then lower down. Rest and breathe. Find the edge that's easier to maintain. Allows you easy access to breath. You have the same openness or sensation that you had on the previous side, or did it alter? Exhale, begin to back away and flatten your hands, curl the back toes under. We're taking ourselves to downward facing dog and feeling the effect of that. And then we're going to bring the feet to the top of the mat. So meditationally walk, lunge, or float the feet together, lifting halfway up on arrival. But as we exhale, we're going to bend the knees and double over into dangling pose. Now, this is one of those yin poses we usually do pretty early on, but we're waiting towards the end today. Bring out the longer, slower out breaths while you're here. Next inhale, pressurize the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Exhale, hands come down to the heart. Now we'll separate the feet. We're going back to the volcano. I'm going to turn this way this time. Starting here, as the hands start to lift up past the third eye, this is where we'll straighten the legs and lift the fingertips skyward. And then as you exhale, it's like the lava spilling over. And the hands come back together. Once they reach beyond the brow, then press through the feet and lift up. Exhale, lower it down. Round 3. Exhale, knees bend, arms come down, hands return to the heart. Hold and breathe a moment. Because I just forgot I needed to move a chair out of the way. And then you can straighten your legs. We're going to use a wall space here. So if you could go to a wall, you don't necessarily need your mat, but we're going to do, you know how we do the melting heart, where we're on the knees and kind of melt down with the shoulders and chest. We're going to do that standing at the wall. So if you think about the wall being where the hands would be in tabletop, and so you'll measure the feet to be proper distance from the wall that your knees would be. Your arms, well, first of all, push back in your hips. Send your arms to the wall, but then let your back bow. Drop into your shoulders. So I want you to experience the looseness of the shoulders, or how they're dragging, and how your ribs are pushing forward. That's no structure in the upper body. And now we're going to put the structure into the front of the body with the wall push. So your hands are going to be lower. Feet are going to be flat. Head's aligned in between the arm bones, looking down. Belly hugging in. Now this structure with the wall push is the same structural alignment for downward facing dog from what we're experiencing with the shoulders and the core. And that's going to play an important role when you come out of that wall push and we transfer onto hands and knees to come to a one-legged down dog with one leg up the wall. So if you need a demo, I'll demo really quick. Your hands are just beyond the shoulders to curl the toes, to lift the hips up. And then from here, we'll take the left foot up, tuck the toes, and then push back through that heel, maintaining the structural alignment of down dog in the upper body. And make sure you don't lose it. Now you're welcome to stay here with more structure, or you can now untuck that foot at the wall, walk your hands towards the standing foot, slide the left leg up, and do more of a standing split. And then when you're ready to come down, walk your hands forward, bring the foot down, your knees down, and take child's pose. Give your upper body a rest, your wrists a rest. And so this pose is our final inversion today. Let's stretch the arms in front of us. Rock up hands and knees. We'll move back to down dog. And this time the right foot goes up. Square the hips. Keep the structure in your upper body. And that way the shoulders aren't cranking. You're not bowing the back. And then if you want to untuck the top foot, slide it up the wall as your hands walk back. Oh, I'm feeling it in my buttocks today. You ready to come out? Walk the hands out. Bring the knees down. You don't have to go back to child's pose because our finale is legs up the wall. We're already here. Basically form this side fetal position at the corner of your mat. And then roll back and send your legs up. But don't close your eyes yet. Have the eyes open and look at your legs. Are they leaning more to the right? Are they leaning more to the left? Or can you set them up to be parallel? And then pick up your head. Look at your torso. Is it level? Is it even? Is it aligned? And lower the head. Now close the eyes. Let's go ahead and bend the knees. And roll away to one side of the body. Come up to take a seat. And we'll close out our practice today. Thank you for joining me. And I hope you feel more aligned at the end of this practice. Namaste.